Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a great day. It's just getting started. We got a ton of news going on all over the place. Got class action lawsuits, all kinds of stuff. So let's start off with Binance. All right. Binance has two things in the news today. The first one is that the co-founder, Yi He, I think it's Yi He, I'm sorry, but I know I'm mispronouncing that name, but how I mispronounce it is actually funny. Binance co-founder Yi He denies responsibility for a $1 million hack, saying that it was most likely due to the user's compromised computer, which it sounds like it was. So I don't understand why anybody would be pointing a finger at Binance. Apparently, there has been something going on, and this might be unrelated, but I think it is related. There have been apps out there that have enabled, hackers to get into people's computers. A lot of Chrome-based hacks, right? So you can't blame Binance for something that somebody did with your account because your computer was compromised. I mean, we'd all like to, but yeah, that's not the way it works. ETrade might actually drop Roaring Kitty. I was going to talk about this yesterday, but then I was like, yeah, nah, there's too much hype around it. But Roaring Kitty dropped an image of about 120, 180 million. I forget what the number was, but substantial holdings in GME, right? And then he also showed some call options or something like that expire relatively soon, but I think like 2 weeks. All of that says that could be kind of manipulating the market, and ETrade is thinking about dropping his account. Now, if I'm ETrade, you're in a precarious situation, but dropping his account might be a bad move for all kinds of reasons. And more importantly, I'd probably say, well, what does Gary Gensler's team have to say about it? Right? Like, is he a Wall Street trader? Is he licensed or anything else like that? Because I know nothing about this guy, Keith Gill or something like that. I forget his name. But Roaring Kitty, I don't know if he's a licensed trader, or if he's just a day trader like my brother Elliot, right? But it sounds like if they go after Roaring Kitty, right? And I might be the only one that's thinking this, but I want you to hear me out. If they go after Roaring Kitty, how come they're not going after Elon? Just saying. And I think there are a couple of people going after Elon. I think there are a couple of people that are swinging for Elon. But, why wouldn't you? That to me is, that would be big news. That would be, equivalent. All this guy did was what a lot of other people do, which is show their account. Like, here's my receipt. Okay, he's a popular platform. Okay, cool. That's fine. But a lot of people do that. But manipulation, how many times has Elon said something about Doge? I mean, you could even probably say that some of his antics have moved the needle on a couple of his companies. I'm just saying. I would like to know, how come nobody's going after him? I would like to know. Even if they don't go after him, at least say, hey, here's why we're not going after him. That's what I'd really like to know. Right? Like, has he broken rules? If he has, go after him. Has Roaring Kitty broken any rules? If so, go after him. No problem. But I'd like to get a better understanding. You see how kind of fuzzy the SEC is about things? This is what I'm talking about. But that's not the news. That's just a little bit of news. What's news to me is, I was just talking to one of my friends, Punanimous Me, about, tokenizing gold. Already here. Cool. But we were talking about it, and I wake up this morning. Well, I wake up in the middle of the morning, and read a story about how Galaxy Digital has tokenized a Stradivarius violin from the year 1708. A what now? Yeah. A Stradivarius violin, formerly owned by Catherine the Great, has been tokenized for a multi-million-dollar loan to Animoca Brands. Wow. Mind blown. I don't even care what technology they used. to tokenize it. I mean, I am going to look it up, but still, you took a real world physical asset, tokenized it, and said, there you go. Wow. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, remember I was talking about, tokenizing, vehicles, real estate, things like that. If this is not a screaming example, I don't know what is. Tokenize the Stradivarius violin. Bruh. Amazing. Binance also is about, I told you before how Binance is going to start cracking down on unregulated cryptos. Well, it's starting with stablecoins. We spoke about it a little bit last night, but it's actually going to be a very big deal as they try to abide by the new MiCA standards out of the EU. MiCA, however, which means that, you have to be deemed a regulated stablecoin. Now I understand why all these banks are starting to think about, creating their own stablecoins. And I'm really wondering, I'm still digging to see if Tether falls in that space of a regulated stablecoin. And let's say it is. Well, that road is nice and easy, right? Let's say it's not. If Tether is deemed to not be a regulated stablecoin and Binance says we're not going to allow you to use Tether in the EU, I would expect that there are going to be a lot of DEXs out there that are going to pick up business, because Binance won't be the only centralized exchange to do that, right? Which means that I think that a lot of other exchanges, a lot of DEXs are going to pick up the slack, and you'll see a lot of traffic just shift. That's actually what I'm thinking. And you can let me know if you think I'm wrong, but that's what I think. That's actually what I'm thinking. Apparently, the bank to the stars, City National Bank, is facing a $770 million class action lawsuit, and it's because people are saying that they might have been involved, even if inadvertently involved with a Ponzi scheme. That is all kinds of problems. $770 million class action lawsuit. That's all kinds of problems right there. So you've got Dapper Labs settling a class action for $4 million over the whole NBA Tops NFTs. NBA Top Shots NFTs. And I'm just like, what is it with these class actions? I mean, if you really stop and think about it, you had a lot of things going on, everybody just shooting from the hip. This is what I mean by, if you look at Fit 21, that bill that was vetoed, if you chunk it out and take slightly deeper dives into each one of those chunks, I'm willing to bet each one of those chunks would get passed. It requires more thought. No more shooting from the hip from some of these companies, some of these projects, but at least providing them with guardrails so they can avoid situations like this. Now, City National Bank, well, you're a bank. There are tons of guardrails for banks. So whatever was going on there, I can't wait to hear the details. I will be sitting back sipping tea on that one. I definitely want to see what's going on with that. Something else that caught my attention. Hong Kong is granted 11 exchanges to do business in Hong Kong. We're talking like OKX, KuCoin, Binance, whole slew of companies that are allowed to do business there. And it took that long to do it. Now, one of the reasons why it took that long to do it is because Hong Kong is owned by China. China doesn't really like crypto. So I'm just wondering, with all these businesses doing business in Hong Kong, how long is it going to last? Because I don't know that it's going to last long. Two, if they achieve some sort of success, will that success be sucked up by China? Meaning, will China just take the business and move? So I'm just really looking to pay attention to how China moves in an age where they've got, in Hong Kong, where they've got the 11 exchanges allowed to do business now, and they have 5 Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs. And for Ethereum, they're thinking about staking. Why are they thinking about staking? Because in the United States, they're not. That's why. We have to pay attention to what else is going on in the rest of the world, because we're moving so slow that we're just not getting it right. And if you read Fit 21, we can all be upset that, hey, it wasn't signed, blah, 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 blah. But here's the idea. It was very far reaching. Now, it could have been good for crypto, but it was really far reaching when you really started digging into it. And I think, like I said, I think if they chunk it out, and they don't like to do things in chunks, if you chunk it out, take deeper dives, those smaller bites will be easier to swallow. And you'll be giving it more thought and not just taking a broad stroke, we want crypto. No. A more pragmatic approach to what you're doing is what's important in this case. If you're going to regulate a space like crypto, you must take a pragmatic approach. It can't just be across the board, we love crypto. That's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. And I don't care that Ted Cruz is a Bitcoin miner now. It doesn't matter. I want to know that the right guardrails and parameters of operation are being put in. That's what makes it important. What else is going on? Michael Saylor settles a $40 million $40 million settlement for alleged tax evasion, him and his company. Because they were saying that he was saying, well, I live here and I don't have to pay these taxes or whatever it is, whatever else it is. And I don't think he has to admit guilt, but he pays out $40 million. Here's what I'd like to know. You settled for 40, but how much did he actually owe? Right? Because whenever I hear the word settlement, it means that, well, a number was given and then they negotiated and settled on this number. That's what that means. They didn't say he was hit with. No, they say they settled for. If he owed more taxes than that, then he still saved money, right? Think about this. Let's suppose the tax calculations came out to $50 million. They settled for 40. Just to give you an example, this is all hypothetical. Just play along with me. If the settlement amount is 40, what was the original amount? That's what I'd really like to know. Because what that says, if the original amount is higher than 40, it says to everybody out there, go ahead and break the law, break the rules, right? Because you'll still save money. This is what we're talking about by paying your taxes, paying your fair share. This is what we're talking about. You're worth all that money and you still didn't want to It's annoying. It's annoying because the rest of us, the government's not going to necessarily settle with me, settle with you. Sometimes they do, out of the kindness of their hearts. Sometimes they do. But when you're talking big numbers like that, I'd like to know what the delta was. 40 compared to what? Because when you're talking about the little people, you're talking about hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars. That's about it. On average, when you get that settlement, that's what that comes out to. But at that level, okay, fine, I'll cut you a check for $40 million. What was that original number? I'm dying to know. Somebody's got to tell me. Then here's something that's really big. The CFTC has a committee on digital assets. Well, a subcommittee on digital assets. And they've got some really big names. Not just the people, but the companies too that are involved in that digital assets subcommittee. Right? Big names, big companies. Another big name that's been added to this list after filling out the application and going through the whole process. A former Meta executive who happens to now be the CEO of Aptos. Mo Shake. Yup. Here's what I like about this. The CFTC is literally reaching out to the industry and saying, hey, we'd like to have a conversation. Excuse me. And we'd like to have a conversation, an ongoing conversation about digital assets and about that space. CFTC has been moving quietly for a while. Hey, Stitchy. Got to say hello to Stitch. Hey, Stitchy. Yeah, because you know I was mad at you yesterday, right? Because you stole my shirt. He stole my shirt yesterday. I had taken off my shirt so I could shave. And he stole my shirt. Yeah, but that's my big boy, though. Then you have Core Scientific, and I've been saying this for a while, and a lot of people have been saying it for a while. Core Scientific, a Bitcoin miner, a big Bitcoin miner. Big. As you might think, they have a ton of compute power. All right. So with that power, they just signed, what is it, a $3.5 billion partnership with CoreWeave to shift a little bit of focus over to high performance computing, AI, and AI, but they really mean AI. That's huge news because I said it before. When everything starts to level off, what are these Bitcoin miners going to do? And I said the number one thing they're going to do is shift over to AI. And Core Scientific said, why wait? Why wait? Think about that. That's a big move by a big company. A big move by a big company. And that's why I'm paying attention to it, because I want to know, is it going to be, we're going to leave the environment that we have for Bitcoin mining alone, or are we going to shift some of that money over? I mean, you know, some of those computers, are we going to shift that over? I'm hoping it's the former, not the latter. I'm hoping that they leave this stat and then build out new for these spaces. Just saying. I mean, they have a lot of options there. Siphon off some of the compute power, whatever, and make big money. Core Scientific is going to see a pop up today, for sure. After this news hits, they're definitely going to see a pop up. I can't see how they don't. Never heard of CoreWeave. I have to see if they're actually publicly traded. DWF Labs is set to invest $12 million in the open market on Floki coins. Now, I just want to know if that's true, because they're doing that on the open market. Things like that normally happen, you know, in an OTC transaction, over the counter, right? That's normally how that happens. So that's a big deal that they're like, no, we're going to do it. We're going to do it, you know, open public. You know, and it's going toward the meme coins ecosystem growth, which again gives me signs that Floki is going to be the next Shiba Inu. Why? Because I think this is another move by Floki, and it just tells me they are going to do more. Look at Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu started out as a meme coin and then started building out an ecosystem. And that's what seems to be going on with Floki. They're looking to gather money and starting to build out an ecosystem. If they do that, that's going to be huge. So they're down a little bit this morning, but they've been up for a minute. So this little dip, yeah, I'd buy a little bit more. That's what I would do. That's probably what I am going to do when I get done with the show. But that screams to me that Floki's got a lot of stuff going on. And it screams to me that Floki is going to be on the upward swing for a while. Because they're starting to think of themselves not as a meme, but as a real coin, as a real investment. That's going to be interesting. Because I keep telling people, Solana is big, but it's big off the backs of meme coins. When meme coins are deemed to not be, you know, regulated enough and they fade away, that's going to take away from a lot of traffic, a lot of upward momentum from Solana. Just saying. When you've got other platforms, look at Toncoin and look at Notcoin. Notcoin is built on Ton, right? Except it's actually used. It's not a meme coin. It's actually being used in games. TVL for Toncoin their TVL is high up. TVL, total value locked. And so they're soaring today. I'm just saying, when you look at when I last looked, there was like $6.93. So I'm just saying, when I look at everything that's going on in the non-meme space, those platforms continue to grow because of real trading, because of real transactions, not just meme coin transactions, which to me are kind of empty, right? Because they're not doing anything. It's just people flipping coins back and forth, not actually acquiring a service or a product. And like I said, Toncoin is going to continue to grow. Why? Because Notcoin is a game. They have another game coming out soon, and you're seeing people actually do things. And I'm sitting back and I'm saying, that's when you're going to see Polygon come back. That's when you're going to see Immutable X come back. Sandbox. What was the other one? There was Sandbox. I forget the other one's name. Jeez, it's horrible. Gala Games is going to come back. That's what I think is going to drive everything else. Meme coins will shed and games will go up. And then after that, what's next? Then you have real world transactions that will go up. That is how I think crypto is really going to be adopted around the world. Just saying, these are things that I'm looking at. VanEck CEO, Jan VanEck, says he predicts Bitcoin to achieve $7.85 trillion, which would be about 50% of gold. Just saying, if we pay attention to what's going on, you can kind of see the future. If you're a small business owner and you're doing business, one thing you can easily do is go set up a couple of wallets and say, you can pay me in crypto. I've literally done that. So I've done that with a couple of my businesses where I said, you know what, and this was before we started accepting crypto via the website, right? We started saying, well, here's our Bitcoin, Ethereum, here are all our addresses. Feel free to pay in crypto. We started having companies pay us in crypto. Hey, what's that? Well, it's something like Bitcoin. We explain it a little bit to them. Oh, yeah, I can pay you like that. I'm like, yeah, because it takes away from credit card fees and blah, blah, blah. What? Oh, yeah, let's go. Because the fee that they would have to pay on crypto is usually less than the fee that we have to pay on credit cards. And the bigger the amount, the easier it is to do it over there in crypto land than it is over here in credit land. The only thing kind of better is, deposit the money. Here's the routing number in the checking account or the savings account, whatever it is. Boom. That's the only thing that makes it easier. But then again, crypto is crypto. You can make money off of that. So I'm just saying, there's a lot going on that says to me that crypto is gaining momentum, gaining tremendous momentum, right? So I'm just sitting back and I'm just saying, wow. There are even talks about how the NYSE went down. They said they're going to stop they'll turn back all of the, erroneous transactions. Awesome, because you knew that was going to happen. I hadn't heard it last night, but I did hear it this morning. But how blockchain could have thwarted that or mitigated that risk. I'm just sitting back and just going, technology the way it is now from a crypto space is growing. The adoption is growing. And I'm not just talking about in the banking industry and the financial markets. I'm talking about just everyday life. It's going to start hitting. They tokenized the Stradivarius. Wow. Just saying, tokenize the Stradivarius. But you know what we should do now? We should actually get into the numbers. So let's do that. Let's put my notes away. All right. Let me refresh this because I haven't refreshed this data in a few minutes. All right. So now we got fresh stuff. Everything's still moving sideways. Up to my 5% rule right here. Dog with Hat is down. I honestly think that's probably a buying opportunity, down 6%. Anybody else I'm paying attention to? Pepe is down 6%. Bonk is down 7%. Yeah, I think those are buying opportunities. And then you come over here and you see who else is down. Caspa is up 17%. Notcoin is up 13%. Wow. As a lot of people are talking about Jasmine Coin, I still know nothing about it. Don't even care. But it's up 5%. Arweave is up 5%. I normally don't pay attention to anything in the 5% space unless they're moving more. So remember, this is a 24-hour rule. So if it was 24 hours ago, 24-hour rule, no, it's a 24-hour time period. So if it moved 24 hours previous and then it moved again, okay, now I'm paying attention. So Jasmine moved, Arweave moved. You can see Toncoin moved. Let's see, Stacks even moved in a positive direction after being down yesterday. So I think things are gearing up for a nice move up. But still, we're still trading. I mean, if we come over here, and we'll get to this in a minute. Let's say, the Fear and Greed Index is at 73. Cool. DeFi Llama still at 131. Barely any movement whatsoever. But when you come over here and you look at this. We're still bouncing within this same space. And if you go wider than that, we're still bouncing between green and blue, that same space. Still a narrow band that we're bouncing between, right? But still, we're having a problem hitting and maintaining a number above 70,000 for Bitcoin. But I think that's going to go away. I really do think that's going to wind up going away. And the reason why is because there's only but so much downward pressure you can put on there. That's the real big deal. What else is going on? If you're looking at the big board, this is not bad. Some of these coins you might actually want to get in on. Matic at 70 cents is interesting to me. If you're a Polkadot fan, that number's got to be interesting to you. Less than $7, that's kind of a big deal. XRP still at hovering around 52 cents. I mean, I really needed to make a move. XRP has just been stagnant. I mean, there's no reason for it not to be moving. It should be like flying. I think it's because you're just not seeing like real news come out for it as of late, like big news. Just saying, it is what it is. Yeah, Whiff, Bonk, Pepe, all down big. To me, those are buying opportunities. If you're in the meme space, I think those are buying opportunities. SHIB is down a hair. Doge is down a bit. I mean, Doge was up to like, 18 cents. Now it's down to 15.8 cents. Render's down. That to me is an opportunity. Let's see. Litecoin is down. People don't like Litecoin, but I do. Bitcoin Cash, not doing anything much, but I like Bitcoin Cash. So there you go. As far as numbers this week, it's basically an employment week. We're going to get a lot of employment numbers from the government. But looking at these numbers, you look at the year to date, and you say 63% for Bitcoin, 7% off its all-time high, 65% year to date for Ethereum, 23% off its all-time high. These to me are buying opportunities. Why would I not be looking at these buying opportunities? Because that's all they are to me. Is the chance to buy something while it's low when I think and firmly believe that they're going to go higher. Right? You never get the timing right? You know what I mean? Like you never nail the timing. But if you believe over the long term these assets are going to go up, these are good things. I mean, the higher the number to me, the more opportunity I have to get in it, right? So looking at XRP, yeah, you're down 86% off your all-time high of 332. Yeah, I could probably get into that, right? Toncoin, obviously bunny hopped, Cardano. And I said it yesterday. It's not that Cardano is moving up and down. It's that other coins are moving up and down. So Cardano has barely moved. As a matter of fact, it went from 46 cents down to 45.5 cents. Okay, cool. Not that much of a move, but because it's basically stagnant, it got bunny hopped by freaking Toncoin. And if Shiba Inu wakes up, Shiba Inu can do the same thing. I mean, the distance between Toncoin and Shiba Inu has grown now, because now Toncoin is taking off because of Notcoin. But Shiba Inu also has a chance to bump up. Avalanche also has a chance to bump up. And then it stops there at about Chainlink. Chainlink and Polkadot, at 13 and 14. They're probably going to remain in that zone for a while, because their market cap's not there. But again, tremendous growth for both of those projects. 67% off the all-time high for Chainlink, 76% off the all-time high for Avalanche, 73% off the all-time high for Shiba Inu. If Cardano came back, I would be thrilled. But I think there are only 10 coins that hit all-time highs when Bitcoin hit its all-time high recently. Not everybody took advantage. Not everybody was able to take advantage. Just saying. So we have to pay attention to these opportunities, because they're opportunities to buy. So keep your dry powder, but also keep your dollar cost averaging strategy. Every now and then you have to make an adjustment to your DCA strategy, and remember, that's a longer term adjustment. But on my regular trading side, and then my dry powder is there for major opportunities. Like, I read news all the time. I might read something and notice that it hasn't really hit the waves yet, so I buy on that opportunity. So it's not a dip that I'm buying on, it's news. And I buy on that opportunity and wait for everybody else to catch up, and then I sell. Now you know why I keep my nose in the news like all the time. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. Just drop me a happy note. Just have fun with it. Do your own research and really dive in and let your community know what we're doing over here at Grow My Bag. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.